Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Brute Squad Barbecue. You might be asking yourself, why am I in the kitchen? The grill is outside. Well, today we're gonna do something a little different. Today is the day before Mother's Day, and I got a little bit of a hankering for some comfort food. Now, full disclosure, I'm preparing this the day before, so I'll actually be cooking it tomorrow because we gotta freeze it a little bit. But what we're gonna do, smoked meatloaf. Stick around, I'll show you how to do it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over a quick rundown of what we've got, the ingredients. I've already done all the prep work, but this is super simple to make, so I just did all the prep ahead of time. Give you the rundown, we're gonna put it together, we're gonna put it in the freezer, get it ready for tomorrow. We've got one chopped up green bell pepper, 3 cloves of garlic diced up and minced, 1/2 of a yellow onion, got three eggs. We're gonna hang on to those for a minute. 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, little bit of salt, not gonna need much. Barbecue rub, I really like this Cosmos Q stuff. I already put a link in one of my other episodes. We've got mild Italian sausage, 1 pound. And 2 pounds ground beef. I prefer 80-20, but the store I was at only had 85-15. We'll make do. So what we're gonna do is get this stuff together and show you how we're gonna do it. If you've ever made a meatloaf, you know the drill. But there's a little slight difference in how we're doing it today. So let me go ahead and get this stuff going. And then we'll get to the twist. All right, so I skipped a little bit, but I've gone ahead and combined the sausage, the hamburger, and our chopped onions, garlic, and bell pepper. So before I mix it all in together, I'm gonna go ahead and take my 3 eggs, drop those in there, and my breadcrumbs. I'm just gonna start working this all in and making it kind of start coming together. So now what we're gonna do, we kind of got it mixed in a little bit. I'm just gonna give it just a little pinch of salt in there. Not too much, just a pinch. And then we're gonna add barbecue rub. Just kind of get that in there. And then I'm gonna use what's left of this barbecue sauce, and we need to buy more tomorrow when I go to cook it. But we're gonna get this all mixed together, and then when that's done, I'm gonna show you a magic trick. All right, now I promised you a magic trick, right? What I've got here is just your standard, disposable aluminum loaf pans, and I've got our meatloaf fixings. But what we've done is we've kind of covered it with saran wrap. So what we're gonna do is take some of our mixture. We should have enough for 2 of these. And we're just gonna shove it down into our loaf pan. And we're gonna wrap it up and throw it in the freezer to solidify overnight. Then we're gonna come back tomorrow, let it thaw out just a little bit, just enough to kind of get the edges or the sides malleable. And we're gonna throw that bad boy in the smoker. So stick around, we're gonna come back tomorrow and get ready to smoke some meatloaves. Screw it, I'm gonna make this one big meatloaf. I made a decision. I'm just gonna make one meatloaf instead of two. Hey, more for me. Well, like I said, pack this down, get it in there real good, wrap it up, throw it in the freezer, and we'll come back the next day. Okay, so we are back. It's about 24 hours later. We've taken the meatloaf out of the freezer here a little bit ago. And remember when I promised to show you a magic trick? Hang on just a few seconds and I'll show you. All right, you ready for some magic? Remember we put our meatloaf in the pan last night and we had shrink wrap around it. Ta-da! You want to freeze this so it'll hold its shape in the smoker, but by putting that saran wrap in the pan, you can pop that thing out of there, no problem. And when we put this in the smoker, we're still gonna have it mostly frozen. This has been out thawing for a little bit, so the edges are still just a little bit frozen, but they've got a little bit of give, they're thawing out. But by having this be frozen, we've got a loaf. And if you do it right, you can reuse the pan as well. So we're gonna give this a little bit more time to thaw out, just enough that we're gonna cover it with some more rub. And then after we throw it in the smoker, we're gonna let it get up to about 150 or so degrees. And we're gonna slather it up with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Instead of having ketchup or something like that, barbecue sauce, baby. All right, we'll be back in a few. I'm gonna let this settle up and then we're gonna throw her in the smoker. Okay, so we've let a little bit more time pass and now we are gonna go ahead and put some rub on this bad boy. I like cooking these on just a regular old cookie sheet with a cooling rack on. It just gives something to hold the meatloaf together, and then you can get smoke all the way around. But I like to use this same barbecue rub that I use on my ribs and pork butt and everything else, just to give more of a barbecue flavor to what is going to be a very smoky meatloaf. I've already got the smoker heated up to 250 degrees. And we're gonna go out there and put this bad boy in. And in a couple hours or so, once, like I said, it gets to about 150 internal, we're gonna come out, glaze it up with this Sweet Baby Ray's, and we'll be good. So stick around and we'll show you what this is gonna look like here in a couple hours when we glaze it. All right, full disclosure time, it's about 7:30ish or so, and we've had this meatloaf going for about 2.5 hours. And let's take a look at what our temperatures are. Internal is 45 degrees, and you see we had to bump the grill all the way up to 350 degrees from 250. Pretty sure the reason that is because I decided to make one big one instead of the two smaller ones like I should have. You know, you make mistakes, you live and learn. But if you're gonna be following this recipe, definitely do two, because we should already be eating by now, or at least getting ready to eat. So lesson learned, make two, not one big one. Otherwise, you get stuck with a frozen center for 2.5 hours. All right, so even with my screw up, you guys can see we're finally getting somewhere. We're right around the 140s, 150s on temperature, like 145, 150. So instead of doing ketchup or anything like that, we are gonna baste it down
with some Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. And we are just gonna get that on there now. And then as it's finishing up, this barbecue sauce will set up on there and make it really sticky and delicious. So even with my screw up, we're finally in the home stretch. Thank God.
And after much ado, there we are. Again, learn from my mistake, make two. But this is a smoked meatloaf. So, after all that time, and the fact that I'm up about an hour after I should have been in bed already, I'm gonna cut this bad boy up and eat it. Yay!